Good morning. Welcome to this special joint session of the New Hampshire Supreme Court and the United States District Court for the District of New Hampshire. I am joined this morning by Associate Justice Patrick Donovan, Senior Associate Justice Gary Hicks, who has served for many years as the court's liaison to the Daniel Webster Scholar Honor Program, and United States Magistrate Judge Andrea Johnstone. This is indeed a memorable day for the Websters, their families, their friends, everyone who helped them get to this important professional milestone. It's also a memorable day because after all the unprecedented challenges that we have faced, for this class, the faculty, bar examiners during the pandemic, we're able to be here together. And we are all very grateful for that. And the courts certainly thank Dean Carpenter and Professor Brooks and the law school team for all they did to make this event possible as we gather here. And this is also a special and memorable day because this is Professor John Garvey's final class of Daniel Webster Scholars. This program serves as an important model for legal education and bar admissions. Its objective is simple: to produce client-ready lawyers based on 2 years of practice-based learning. Bar examiners provide careful oversight, and Webster Scholars are eligible for admission to the New Hampshire Bar without the traditional examination. The success of this model is manifest. Webster Scholars have gone on to great professional achievement and respect, both in this state and beyond. The program has earned significant national acclaim. Notably, an important study in 2015 concluded that the program was ahead of the curve. It still is. This program resulted from years of collaboration between the Bar Association, the Board of Bar Examiners, the law school, and the Supreme Court. Many, many, many individuals contributed countless hours of volunteer time in putting this program together. But we would not be here without the vision, dedication, innovative spirit, and perseverance of a few. Our former dear colleague, Chief Justice Linda Delanis, is certainly one of them, and John Garvey is another. Professor Garvey, having worked with you for many years as a bar examiner, it is an especially great personal honor for me to be able to speak for both courts in acknowledging your extraordinary service to the law school, to legal education, to our state, to our profession, and to all the Webster Scholars who have benefited so greatly from your leadership and mentorship. So it's my honor to introduce the inaugural director of the Daniel Webster Scholar Program, attorney and professor emeritus, John B. Garvey.
Thank you for inviting me today. It means a lot to me to be a part of this special moment with you. In addition to the court, I want to thank Professor Brooks, Dean Carpenter, Dale Kinney, the bar examiners, the DWS volunteers, the professors, and all the others who got you to the finish line. which is really the starting line. I've had a very peaceful year knowing that Courtney was in charge of a program that I care about so deeply. Thank you, Courtney. You were my last class, and I knew that from the beginning. So during that year, I cherished our year together, and I reflected on it often, just as you did. And our time physically together ended rather abruptly. And there were suddenly many serious and sometimes frightening issues that you had to deal with. But you all carried on. You all figured it out. You found a way. And here you are about to become members of the bar with all of the obligations and others, to others that entails. And the chance to make a difference in people's lives every day. It's such an amazing privilege. And I hope it never stops giving you goosebumps. Today is a day of transition, both for you and the program. Your career and your life will likely involve many transitions. As my 4-year-old grandson recently said, that's just the way life goes. Some transitions like today will be joyous, some not. We all need help and support along the way. I know you've all received a lot of support while in this program from many sources. I hope you'll never shy away from seeking help when you need it and providing it when you can. You're moments away from joining a profession where your reason for being is to help someone else. For whatever their specific reason, people come to lawyers when they are in need. As I said, that is an amazing privilege. But it's also a huge responsibility. There are times when you may feel that responsibility wearing you down. And if you don't remember another thing, anything I've ever told you, please remember this. You can't consistently take care of your clients if you don't take care of yourself. You're not machines. And even if you were, you would still need regular maintenance. The best thing you can do for your clients, not to mention your family and loved ones, is to take care of yourself. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. And it will allow you to better enjoy the amazing careers you are all starting today. One last request. As successful Webster scholars, you're now part of what has become a distinguished group and a great tradition, a tradition that will continue in the years ahead. The program is bigger than any one of us and has flourished because of the many volunteers you've met and many others behind the scenes. A lot of them are Websters, so please be one of them. Thank you.
We now recognize Professor Courtney Q. Brooks, Director, Daniel Webster Honor Scholars Program.
Thank you, Chief Justice McDonald, and thank you to the entire Supreme Court, Clerk Gudis, for being here today as we prepare to admit the 14th class of Daniel Webster Scholars. I also want to take a moment to thank the U.S. District Court for being here today and for carrying on the tradition of holding this joint ceremony. Thank you to the distinguished guests from the Board of Bar Examiners, the bench, and the bar. And thank you to all of you, to everyone who came here today, and to those who are watching us on the live feed. Even 6 months ago, I thought there was no way we'd be here in person today. And I'm unbelievably grateful that we're able to share this moment together. To the class of 2021 Daniel Webster Scholars, congratulations. Today is a celebration of all you have achieved. Today, we recognize your hard work, your determination, your adaptability, your reflection, and there were so many reflections. Today, you become lawyers. Having worked with all of you this year, I know you're ready. This is my 11th Webster Scholar Bar Admission ceremony, but this is my first time up here. For 11 years, I've sat where you are today, and it always struck me just how special this ceremony is. It's special because this tent is full of people who have helped you along the way. And there are many more who couldn't be here today, but who are hopefully watching from afar. Your Honor, with your permission, I'd like to keep with Professor Garvey's tradition and ask some people to stand. Thank you. Would the parents of Danny Webster Scholars here today please stand? These are the people who cared for you when you were young. They've been your chefs, your coaches, your tutors, your Uber drivers, your movers, and your financial backers. Most importantly, they are your role models and your strongest supporters. Today, we celebrate them. Would the spouses and partners of any Webster Scholars please stand? These are truly patient people. These are the people who have done the heavy lifting as you drafted discovery, wrote your motions, practiced for your depositions and your oral arguments. They have listened to you, processed with you, and supported you. Today, we cherish them. Would the children of any Webster Scholars please stand? These special people have been watching over you for the last 3 years, but maybe even more so in the last year as we've been home all the time. They watched you work hard. They watched you achieve your goal, even if it seemed unattainable. They look up to you, and they see your strength. Today, we honor your love for them and theirs for you. Would any other family members and friends of Webster Scholars please stand? I'm going to steal one of my favorite jokes from Professor Garvey here. These are the people who will soon ask you for free legal advice. They'll do this for 2 reasons. First, it's free. But second, it's their way of saying they respect you and they admire you and they're very proud of you. Your friends and family have been here for you. Be there for them. Would the UNH Franklin Pierce Law faculty and deans please rise? These are your teachers, your mentors. These are the people who have worked behind the scenes to make this program so successful. Every single one of them cares deeply about your success and wants to hear from you as you move through your career. Today, we thank them, and they ask you to please keep in touch. Would the UNH Law staff please stand? These are the selfless people who make everything possible. This program would not exist without them, and in fact, this ceremony today would never have happened without them. I'd like to specifically recognize the hard work of Dale Kenny. Dale cares so much about all of you and your success and has worked so hard over the past couple of years and particularly this week. I'd also like to recognize AJ Kierstad, who is over here busy. AJ made it possible for all 23 of you to celebrate together today, especially the one who's joining us from Texas. Finally, and he's not here because he's really busy, but I hope he'll watch this at one point, to Matt Grady, our new registrar. Matt burned the midnight oil, I'm not kidding, this week to make sure you're here today. I'm in awe of what he did for this program. We are extremely thankful for all of you, and I hope you get a few days off. Would the bar examiners, either now or present, or now or past, please stand. Thank you for all of the work that you've done over the years on the nights and the weekends to make this possible. Would any Webster Scholars volunteers please stand? Although many of them weren't able to be here today, in fact, most weren't able to be today, you have benefited from the many, many hours of volunteers who have helped throughout the program. The judges, the lawyers, the court reporters, Dove staff, volunteers, court personnel, mediators, lay people, actors, graduated Webster Scholars, and current Webster Scholars. Today we honor you. I won't ask the court and the court staff to stand, but we are here today because of the New Hampshire Supreme Court and its innovations. And we have benefited so much from the United States District Court, from the mentoring to the oral arguments and beyond. And finally, to Professor Garvey, who I won't ask to stand. This program is what it is today because of you, and I am humbled to be here, standing where you stood. You have taught and mentored all of them, and you have supported and guided me as well. Today, we honor you. So be thankful today, and as you go through your career, remain thankful. Remember all the people who stood today and those who cannot be here. And when you leave here today, carry forward the spirit of gratitude and giving back. For 2 years, you've been constantly reflecting. You've been completing and receiving benchmarks, standards of reference by which you were judged. For the last 2 years, you've learned how to practice law and simulations. You've represented real clients under the close supervision of attorneys. Today, the simulation is over. You'll be on your own, but I know you'll continue to reflect on your performance and grow and learn. And I hope you continue to seek out the advice and guidance of your mentors and supporters. In closing, I share some advice that Professor Garvey has given every other Webster Scholar before you. He said, as you go forward in your career and you join the other Daniel Webster Scholar graduates, become the benchmarks, the standards of excellence and achievement to which others are compared. Your Honor, Professor Garvey and I are pleased to certify that the students seated before you have completed all requirements of the Daniel Webster Scholar Honors Program and may be designated as Daniel Webster Scholars.
Thank you very much, Professor Brooks. The court now recognizes Dean Megan Carpenter, Dean of the University of New Hampshire Franklin Pierce School of Law.
Thank you so much, Chief Justice McDonald. I knew about the Daniel Webster Scholar Honors Program long before I came here to New Hampshire. There is nothing like it in the country. When I was in Texas, I was aware at the time that the state Supreme Court invited Professor Garvey to come and talk about the program with the hopes that they could figure out somehow to emulate it. I've had 2 calls from states this year who are trying to figure that out. Many states would like to do the same, but no one has yet been able to replicate this incredibly groundbreaking program. Over the last decade, there's been a growing movement across the country to reconsider the best way to license attorneys. This is true now as we emerge from the pandemic more than ever. And the need for this conversation is growing. When I go to dean's meetings for the ABA, alternative licensing is always one of the standard topics of conversation. And what's also common is that I enter the room, whether it's a real room or a Zoom room, and people will always comment, "Hey, that's the dean from New Hampshire," because this program is legendary. How do we best prepare law students, not just to think like lawyers, but to be lawyers? This program is, you all are, a shining example of that. And so I guess there are 3 things I want to say related to this. And first is that you are part of something much larger. After I graduated from law school, I remember sitting in my office in a big law firm, and I was sitting at my desk, and there was this moment where I thought, law school is great, and this is great. I really like both of them, but the 2 have not one thing to do with each other. You will not have that experience. You are part of a movement that redefines legal education on our own terms. And that's a foundation of our school and this program, a cornerstone. Second, you're part of something that is uniquely New Hampshire. Your experience, as Professor Brooks and Professor Garvey have said, is due to the volunteer efforts of so many in our community. Thanks to the entire Supreme Court, to so many attorneys who volunteer their time to participate in the program, this is not just a UNH law program. This is a community program. And third, relatedly, and that is that you're not really graduating from the Webster Scholar Program. You think you are, but you're not. I have learned in my years here and as I meet with alumni across the country that once a Webster, always a Webster. And the Webster program only works if you give back to it too. So I encourage you, just like Professor Brooks has, to share the knowledge that you have. Come volunteer for simulations, contribute to help keep our technology current, lend your experience, your perspective, the wisdom that you gain in your careers through the entire arc of the decades to come. Help dedicate that to the next generation. And I wanted to say one final thing. As I invite Professor John Garvey and Professor Courtney Brooks to join me now on the stage for the presentation of certificates. And that is a heartfelt thank you to both of them. To John, whose vision and passion and commitment to this program helped make a dream a reality, and to Courtney, whose vision is now taking that program to new heights. It was a big dream, but it's a reality now that is changing legal education as we know it. To all of you DWS graduates today, we welcome you to the profession of law as colleagues. Thank you.
At this time, I will call out the names of the students. This might just hang there. While Dean Carpenter presents the certificates, congratulating all of you. Nancy C. Brayman. Kitty Agnes Burke. Benjamin Chapman. Cameron Cox. Jonathan Dean. Teresa Farley. Christopher Gluick. Haley Geckel. James Hawthorne. Sophia Hyatt. Maria Hyde. Derek James Kaufman. Autumn Hannah Kish. Catherine A. Yangari. Jennifer P. Lyon. Christopher Magnanelli. Katie Ann Mosher. Caitlin Purdy Murphy. Ian Rossi. Victoria Sachs. Victoria is joining us from Austin, Texas. You'll see her in a moment. Kara Skogsholm. Christopher C. Snook. Colleen Yoder. Congratulations to the Daniel Webster Scholar Class of 2021.
Court now recognizes Attorney Megan Carrier of the New Hampshire Board of Bar Examiners.
Thank you, Your Honor, and good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be here today on behalf of the New Hampshire Board of Bar Examiners. On behalf of the board, I'd like to congratulate all of the applicants for having successfully completed the Daniel Webster Scholar Honors Program. You should all be incredibly proud today, and the board looks forward to having all of you as distinguished members of the bar. I'm now going to read each applicant's name and ask that you please stand and remain standing when your name is called. Nancy Brayman. Kitty Agnes Burke. Benjamin Chapman. Cameron Cox. Jonathan Dean. Teresa Farley. Christopher Gluick, Haley Geckel, James Hawthorne, Sophia Hyatt, Maria Hyde, Derek Kaufman, Autumn Hannah Kish, Catherine Yangari, Jennifer P. Lyon, Christopher Magnanelli, Katie Ann Mosier, Caitlin Purdy Murphy, Ian Rossi, Victoria Sachs, Kara Skogsholm, Christopher C. Snook, Colleen Yoder. I'd like to next invite the sponsoring individuals who are here today to move for the admission of particular candidates to make their motions. Senior Associate Justice Gary E. Hicks on behalf of Associate Justice Anna Barbara Hans Marconi.
Thank you very much. I go first because I'm the oldest. I, Gary E. Hicks, on behalf of myself and Justice Hans Marconi, have the honor to move the admission of Caitlin Purdy Murphy to the New Hampshire Bar. Where are you, Caitlin? There you go.
Associate Justice Patrick Donovan with the Honorable Amy Messer.
Good morning. It is my honor and my pleasure, as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, to move the admission of my former intern, Haley Geckel.
I, Amy Messer, a judge serving on the New Hampshire Superior Court, have the honor of jointly moving for the admission of Haley Geckel to the New Hampshire Bar. I'm pleased to say that Haley will begin her legal career by joining the Superior Court as a law clerk.
Albert Buzz Schur with the Honorable Amy Messer.
I feel obligated to say, may it please the court. I, Buzz Schur, have the heartfelt honor of moving for the admission of Benjamin Chapman to the New Hampshire Bar.
I, Amy Messer, a judge serving on the New Hampshire Superior Court, have the honor of jointly moving for the admission of Benjamin Chapman to the New Hampshire Bar. I'm pleased to say that Ben will begin his legal career by joining the Superior Court as a law clerk.
Albert Buzz Schur.
May it please the court, I, Buzz Schur, have the delightful honor to move the admission of Victoria Sachs to the New Hampshire Bar.
Patricia Morris.
Thank you. I, Patricia Morris, have the incredible honor of moving for the admission of Nancy C. Brayman to the New Hampshire Bar.
Melissa Davis.
I, Melissa Davis, have the incredible honor to move the admission of Kitty Agnes Burke to the New Hampshire Bar.
Charles Putnam.
Thank you. I'll steal Buzz's line. May it please the court. I, Charles Putnam, have the honor to move the admission of Jonathan Dean to the New Hampshire Bar.
Armand Hyatt.
I, Armin Hyatt, have the honor to move for the admission of my daughter, Sophia Hyatt, to the New Hampshire Bar.
Richard Samperl.
I, Richard Samperl, have the honor and the privilege to move for admission of Maria Hyde to the New Hampshire Bar.
Matthew Mavra-George.
I, Matthew Mavra-George, have the distinct honor, pleasure to move the admission of Autumn Hannah Kish to the New Hampshire Bar.
Peter Leonard.
Good morning, Your Honors. I, Peter Leonard, have the pleasure and the honor to move for the admission of Catherine Young-Garvey for admission to the New Hampshire Bar. Catherine, you're one of the most extraordinary people I've ever met in my life. There's not a doubt in my mind you're going to do big things.
Nicholas Magnanelli.
I, Nicholas Magnanelli, have the honor to move the admission of my brother, Christopher Magnanelli, to the New Hampshire Bar.
Caroline Leonard.
May it please the court, I, Caroline Leonard, have the honor and privilege to move for the admission of my mentee and friend, Katie Mosher, to the New Hampshire Bar. Katie, I was impressed the first time I saw you do an oral argument in fun law for my partner Matt Burrows' class in your first year of law school. Since then, I have seen you lean into leadership roles at the law school, from president of the Women's Law Student Association, to teaching assistant, to editor on the Law Review, to president of the entire Student Bar Association. You juggle it all somehow, some way, and yet you still show up at 6 a.m. spin classes with a smile. You have done, and will continue to do, great things for our legal community. I am humbled to be able to count you as one of my colleagues in the New Hampshire Bar.
Christopher J. Sofert.
May it please the court, Your Honors. I, Christopher J. Sofert, have the honor to move for admission Christopher C. Snook to the New Hampshire Bar, who is starting his legal career with my firm hopefully next Monday.
On behalf of the Board of Bar Examiners and the Committee on Character and Fitness, I, Megan Carrier, have the honor to move for the admission of the remaining candidates to the New Hampshire Bar.
Thank you, Attorney Carrier. The court has before it several pending motions. Are there any objections? I have to ask. If not, the motions are granted. The court now recognizes the clerk of the New Hampshire Supreme Court, Timothy A. Gudis, to administer the oaths of admission.
Would each scholar please raise his or her right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will bear faith and true allegiance to the United States of America and the state of New Hampshire, and will support the constitutions thereof, so help you God, or under the pains and penalties of perjury. At this point, I would ask all members of the bar to please stand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will do no falsehood, nor consent that any be done in the court, and if you know of any, that you will give knowledge thereof to the justices of the court or some of them, that it may be reformed, that you will not wittingly or willingly promote, sue, or procure to be sued any false or unlawful suit, nor consent to the same, that you will delay no person for lucre or malice, and will act in the office of an attorney within the court according to the best of your learning and discretion, and with all good fidelity, as well to the court as to your client. So help you God, or under the pains and penalties of perjury. Congratulations, you may be seated.
Congratulations. It's now my honor to recognize our colleague from the United States District Court, United States Magistrate Judge Andrea Johnston, who will preside over that portion of our ceremony.
Thank you, Chief Justice McDonald, and good morning, everyone. I am taking after one of my dear colleagues, retired Justice Linda Delanis, who used to get very emotional at these kinds of things, and for whatever reason, I've decided that I'm going to follow in her footsteps. So it's going to take me just a few moments to gather my emotions, and just looking out here at all of you today, it's just a fantastic day and something that we should all celebrate and hold dear. On behalf of the judges and staff of the United States District Court for the District of New Hampshire, I would like to congratulate the University of New Hampshire, Franklin Pierce School of Law, Daniel Webster Scholars on their admission to the Bar of the State of New Hampshire and to the Bar of the United States District Court for the District of New Hampshire. On this day, the legal profession and our courts recognize your ability, achievement, and character after many years of study and hard work. It is customary on these occasions to say a few words in celebration of your accomplishments and to share a few observations about what makes the practice of law in New Hampshire so special. My colleague, Judge Joseph DeClerico, often addresses new admittees at ceremonies such as this one, and when he does, he speaks about Hosea Parker, who was a distinguished lawyer and public servant in New Hampshire back in the mid-1800s. I want to share some of his thoughts and comments with you. At the beginning of the 20th century, Hosea Parker wrote a chapter about the bench and bar of New Hampshire in a book entitled State Builders. The book is a historical and biographical compilation about New Hampshire and Parker's observations about the legal profession back in 1900, and his observations remain relevant to us today. He wrote, "Each and every member of the bar ought to be deeply impressed with the dignity and greatness of his calling. It is a noble profession, and no one but an active member can realize the great responsibility which is assumed by those who belong to it. The lawyer has not only his own personal cares and duties, but he must bear the burdens of his clients and keep constantly in mind their interests and their welfare in all of the complicated matters committed to his keeping. And this involves anxious study and anxious thought. Nowhere has the profession attained a prouder or more honorable position than in New Hampshire. From the earliest times in her history, it has been celebrated for its high character and learning. Let it be guarded and protected with a jealous eye, and it will continue to be in the future, as it has been in the past, the great conservator of state and nature." Parker's words remind us that as lawyers and judges, we hold an important public trust. We are entrusted with the fate of democracy and the individual liberties it allows. It is our responsibility to protect and preserve our legal system so that we can turn it over to future generations, undiminished by anything that we have done, and hopefully strengthened in some small way by our contributions. I encourage you to embrace this charge to protect and preserve our legal system and to make this a foundational principle of your practice. The professionalism and collegiality of the New Hampshire Bar is coveted by practitioners from around the country. It is now your responsibility to be a custodian of the New Hampshire Bar's tradition of unmatched civility and professionalism. Let the New Hampshire Lawyer Professionalism Creed adopted by the New Hampshire Board of Governors guide you. I will not read to you the entire creed. Instead, I will highlight a salient passage from its 7 principles. A New Hampshire lawyer is civil. Civility and self-discipline prevent lawsuits from turning into combat and keep organized society from falling apart. A New Hampshire lawyer behaves in a courteous, decent, and disciplined manner and counsels clients to do likewise. Displays respect for clients, judges, court staff, opposing counsel, and all participants in the process. Behaves with humility rather than arrogance, understands differing viewpoints, and has empathy for others. I leave it to each one of you to read the New Hampshire Lawyer Professionalism Creed in its entirety. If you do not already have a copy, it is available on the New Hampshire Bar Association website. I encourage you to read it, to refer to it now and again as a reaffirming reminder, and to conduct yourselves accordingly. Courtesy, civility, and integrity enhance the legal profession. You will find that if you practice in accordance with these principles, your legal career will be more satisfying and fulfilling. And before I conclude, I would like to take a moment to recognize the following individuals who, on behalf of everyone at the United States District Court for the District of New Hampshire, we have learned so much from and look forward to following you in your legal careers, as well as all of the Webster scholars that are here today. But I would like to take a moment to recognize Haley Geckel, James Hawthorne, Derek Hoffman, Jennifer Lyon, Katie Mosier, and Ian Rossi for their hard work, their energy, their enthusiasm, and great questions as they spent time with us either as interns or as volunteers working hard in connection with Chief Judge McCafferty's educational outreach. Thank you to each one of you. Once again, on behalf of my colleagues, Judges DeClerico, McAuliffe, Barbadoro, LaPlante, and Chief Judge McCafferty, as well as all of the court staff, congratulations to all of you, and welcome to the bar. We look forward to getting to know you and to working with you. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Acting United States Attorney John Farley.
Good morning, Your Honor, and distinguished members of the court. Pursuant to the rules of this court, it is my pleasure as the acting United States Attorney for this judicial district to report that I have found the following applicants eligible for admission to the bar of the United States District Court for the District of New Hampshire. Would each applicant please stand and say present when his or her name is called and remain standing? Haley Geckel. James Hawthorne. Derek James Kaufman. Autumn Hannah Kish. Jennifer P. Lyon. Christopher Magnanelli. Katie Mosher. Caitlin Purdy Murphy. Ian Rossi. Kara Skogsholm. Christopher C. Snook. Your Honor, these individuals have been found fully qualified, I respectfully move their admission to the bar of this court.
Thank you. I will now ask our clerk of court, Daniel J. Lynch, to administer the oath, please.
Morning. Would the new admittees to the bar of the United States District Court please raise your right hand and at the conclusion of the oath say, "I do." Would all other members of the New Hampshire Bar, including our newest members, please stand during the oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that as an attorney and as a counselor of this court, you will conduct yourself uprightly and according to law, and that you will support the Constitution of the United States, so help you God? Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Clerk Lynch. The court now recognizes Richard Garriero, President-elect of the New Hampshire Bar Association.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Justice, and thank you to all of the family and professors and everyone that was recognized as supporting the Daniel Webster Scholars in making their achievements in many ways today. And most importantly, welcome all of Daniel Webster Scholars to the New Hampshire Bar Association. Congratulations. You're here, you're a lawyer. I wanted to tell you, as someone that's been a practicing trial lawyer for 30-something years, that the Daniel Webster program, it's really significant to me because, I think that you can read about something 100 times, but there's nothing like doing it. And that's what I seem to get from the Daniel Webster program. We've had people in our office as interns and worked with us, and you're doing the kind of work, you did the kind of work that makes you ready to be a good lawyer immediately. So thank you for doing that, and we look forward to having you in the bar. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the New Hampshire Bar Association. As you know, the Bar Association is a mandatory bar association. You have to be a member. Not every state has that, but you do here. But I also wanted you to know that as the incoming president and a longtime member of the Board of Governors and other positions in the bar, our goal is to be a bar association that you want to be a member of. We want to provide support and services to you and everything that you need to be a good lawyer. Some of the things we provide great CLE programs. This past year, we've really adapted, and we do a lot online as webcast. And of course, we're going to be returning to the traditional means of having in-person programs. We have a good website. We have the bar news that comes out every month, which we still publish both electronically and in paper. There is a leadership academy, which I urge all of you to consider participating in. It's a great way to meet different members of the bar and to get to know about different areas of the bar. We have the New Lawyers Committee, and there's other committee work that you can do. Participating in those bar activities will help you in a lot of ways. Number one, you'll meet people and network, which has the benefit of helping you learn more about the law and the legal practice. And it may also help you get some business, to be frank. It's also important, I think, just to hear other points of view from other areas of the law. If you just stay in your one area, whatever it is, whether it's criminal law or real estate or in the boardroom or whatever, you won't be well-rounded. You won't know what you need to know to be a well-rounded lawyer. So I urge you to participate in those bar activities. Lastly, and I think probably most importantly, beyond being a member of the New Hampshire Bar and beyond being a Daniel Webster Scholar, I want to welcome you to the profession of being a lawyer. And I want to touch on a few of the things that John Garvey said and Magistrate Johnstone said. I can't tell you how important the work you're going to do is. It is helping people, as John Garvey said. It is, in my experience, either preventing or dealing with conflict every day. And that's the help we're giving. People don't want to have conflict. They either want to resolve it or they want to avoid it. And they're coming to you to solve that problem, to avoid it or to resolve whatever conflict, whether it's between people or businesses or people in the government, in my case, where the police are arresting my client, that's a conflict. They're looking to resolve that conflict. And the community depends on you to do that. It depends on you to do it with integrity. That is, I start out with that because I came here from practicing in another state for 8 or 9 years, and I will tell you that integrity is a key part of your practice here. It's a small state. Everyone's word is important. How you practice law is important. And I will tell you, there are people in this room that I have serious conflicts with on moral and social issues. You know, we disagree on big social issues. But what we, lawyers in New Hampshire, agree on is that we follow the rules, we fight hard for our clients, but we play fairly and honestly. And that is what keeps the system honest. If we don't do that, we have mob justice. And that's not what we have in New Hampshire. Everybody, even the person that I have the most serious disagreements about on the most important social issues in New Hampshire, I know, when it gets down to it, they're going to produce the discovery to me they're obligated to produce. They're not going to mislead me about something. If there's a concern in the case where they think that I don't have the information I need or I'm not being treated fairly, they're going to tell me. And we're going to extend to each other the common courtesies, as Magistrate Johnstone said, in terms of practice. That has got to be the cornerstone of your practice in New Hampshire. Along with that is the reality that that's all hard work. Those are not things that are easy to do. And you've worked really hard as a Daniel Webster scholar, and now your reward is you get to work even harder. But what I will tell you, and really my last comment, is that looking at your future legal career, this is my 36th year as a lawyer. I remember as a young lawyer thinking, I don't think I'll do this more than 5 years when I was, like 26, 27. I'm going to quit when I'm 30. And I will tell you that it never happened. I've never had a day as a lawyer where I don't get up and think, what's going to happen next? What new case am I getting? What is my discovery? I'm still excited every day. I hear about people who burn out, but I'm telling you, it's not something that has to happen. It's something that if you work hard, pay attention to your cases, pay attention to important issues, take care of your clients, I think that you'll be excited about practicing law in 36 years too. So welcome to the New Hampshire Bar. Congratulations, you earned it.
Professor Brooks, I want to commend you for continuing the practice that Professor Garvey had started with the acknowledgments, and I want to say on behalf of the court, we certainly join in all of those. If I may, on behalf of our new admittees, just add one further acknowledgement to Sherry Heber, who serves as general counsel to both the Board of Bar Examiners and the Committee on Character and Fitness. She's been an important person in your life, and we thank her for her all her efforts to get you to this point today. Thank you, Sherry. Magistrate Johnstone mentioned that Chief Justice Delanis often got emotional at these ceremonies, and it's with good reason. This is a day of incredible pride and joy for all of you. And I want you to know that we share it. We are so proud of you, and we look forward with great anticipation to all you will do in serving the people of New Hampshire and beyond. So congratulations to all our new lawyers. And with that, this joint session of the New Hampshire Supreme Court, the United States District Court, is adjourned.